Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel, here to help you see the new you. Today, 2 speakers, 20 minutes, thought-provoking messages. This is The Talk. I am Dennis Calamba, the Mr. Delightful of Learning, host of The Talk, presented by the new channel and Wellife. Every home, every family, Wellife. We are glad you could join us for another episode of The Talk, where we feature local and international speakers with messages that educate, motivate, and inspire a call to action. We provide 2 power-packed learning sessions through our speakers who invest precious minutes of their time sharing their expertise and experience for you, our dear viewers. For this episode, it is the women who will be owning the stage. One is a sought-after trainer and a winner in the field of public speaking. The other is a bona fide expert in HR and OD, and does high-level coaching as a passion and as a profession. They will take turns talking about a topic that is close to their heart. Truly, when women talk, we should pay attention and listen. This is the first time we are having back-to-back women speakers. If you remember last episode, it was the turn of the gentlemen, and it was also the first time that we had back-to-back male speakers. So, similar to the gentlemen of episode 5, that was Coach Eric and Coach Jimbo. Our speakers today are also both homegrown, meaning they will be joining our live stream in their respective locations here in the Philippines, specifically Pasig and Mandaluyong. So, Talksters, it's that time of the day where you need to grab your traditional or digital note-taking tools, put your favorite drink or dish beside you, because we are opening the virtual stage right now. And let me introduce our first speaker. She is an international training and development professional for communication and self-development. After earning her degree in organizational communication from De La Salle University, She worked full-time for McKinsey, the world's top management consulting firm. Her packed CV reflects experience in the fields of marketing, sales, recruitment, events management, training and development, business strategy, and regional communications and coordination. She became a solopreneur in 2014 while taking her master's degree in communication at the Ateneo de Manila University. She is affiliated with the following training service providers who cater to private sector companies and government agencies. They are the following: Symmetry International, Salt and Light Ventures, Quintegral, People Strong, Link OD, and Computat. She was recognized by one of her training partner organizations, Salt and Light Ventures, as their highest rated speaker for in-house speaking engagements back in 2018. She is an active member of Toastmasters International, a public speaking and leadership skills organization. She is currently the Club Growth Director for Makati, a role which oversees the building of new clubs and the growth of currently existing ones. As a public speaking practitioner for over 20 years, she serves as a coach and mentor for members in the organization. She is an award-winning speaker, having won in different speech competitions, including first runner-up in the 2020 Evaluation Speech Championships of Philippine Toastmasters. She is an award-winning leader and was recognized as the 2019 Area Director of the Year, a leadership recognition given to only one individual in every country. Some of her trademarks as a speaker and trainer are polished style, captivating fluidity, and a strong structure. In addition to professional projects, she accommodates speaking engagements for civil society and socio-civic organizations, as well as private and public universities as part of her social responsibility. As an author, she self-published her first book, hashtag Adulting, 5 Secrets to Embracing Change in Life and Career. She produces blog articles and video blogs for her website, www.doreencooper.net, and actively creates content on various social media platforms, which has led her being recognized as one of the top 100 Filipinos to follow on LinkedIn in December 2019. Today on The Talk, she will discuss a very interesting topic called adulting. Please welcome to the virtual stage international learning facilitator, professional speaker, and book author, Ms. Doreen Cooper.
Hi, Dennis. Good afternoon. Hello, and hello to all our viewers. I'd like to first and foremost thank Dennis for inviting me to be on the talk, and I'd like to congratulate both Dennis and Lloyd on their project. This is such a wonderful initiative to be able to connect with different people, especially at this time where people are mostly in their homes. And today, as Dennis mentioned, I will be talking about key principles on how to do adulting, specifically principles from my book, hashtag Adulting, which I self-published in the year 2018. So again, we will be looking at the 5 key principles from my book, hashtag Adulting, 5 Secrets to Embracing Change in Life and Career. And specifically, what I'll be doing today is I will be applying the principles from my book to the quarantine period. And we will be looking at 5 secrets that I did share in the book, again, in the context of the quarantine period. Let's get started. Now, the first secret, actually, let me take a step back. The reason why I share these secrets in my book is because I really wanted to be able to help others and reach those whom my workshops could not reach, and be able to share all of these different thoughts and insights that I've learned throughout the years. So one thing, for example, that you will notice is the things that I will be sharing are actually very practical skills, which I hope really help you and be able to empower and then like to share with you today is to build skills. Okay, so first secret is to build skills. It's very, very important to be able to build skills. And I'll tell you more about that. Again, in the context of the pandemic, so many people are losing jobs. It's a reality. It's not just in the Philippines, but it's a trend across many countries. But let's talk about the context of the Philippines in particular. And I mean, it's really sad to see how many different organizations have had to let people go. A number of them are actually very talented, very skilled individuals, and yet they had to say goodbye to their jobs, not because they wanted to, but because the economic conditions are not at the best state at the moment. So imagine that, well, actually, you don't even have to imagine, we're in the state right now, that the reality is people are losing jobs. And the question is, how can you help yourself be able to get a leg up or be able to go further and do more, have more opportunities at this time? And one answer to that is when you build more skills. You build skills so that you can do more, you can earn more, you can have more opportunities which open up to you because you simply know how to do more things. You are more skilled than other people out there. And there is no single person who is exactly like you in terms of their knowledge, experiences, and skills. So use this as an opportunity, or with this knowledge in mind, well, try to upskill as much as you can, because again, this is an opportunity that you can tap into, and you are fully in control in terms of how you can create new skills or update your current skills or current ones. So another reality is, so for those who are in their jobs or still in their jobs, those who didn't get redundated because of the pandemic, there are less team members or less employees doing more things. Isn't that a reality? Before, for example, you were just doing sales. Now you have to do both sales and marketing. Or, for example, before you were only doing, well, let's see, maybe a certain kind of work like business strategy. And now you also have to do admin stuff, or again, just other things that you didn't have to before. So with that in mind, with less people doing more and more, you really need to build more skills so that you can keep doing a great job, because these are realities now. People aren't about, well, a lot of people aren't really about specializing anymore. It's being able to do different things because the workforce is changing rapidly. And in order to find yourself in a greater position or in a more possibly strategic position to succeed, then one way to help yourself is really to build skills. Now, you may be, because I've been talking a lot about building skills, but the bigger question here is, how exactly should you start building skills? And this is something that I learned in a book that I read a few years ago, which is that you should start with the hard skills first. Hard skills are about precision. It's about how exactly you, the technique, the precise way to be able to deliver on something. And again, that's apparently the best way to start. Learn exactly how to do something. And then when you already know how to do the technicalities well, then you can start with learning the softer side or the soft skills. Soft skills are essentially a lot about flexibility. So start with the hard skills, which is more about precision. And then when you are already adept in this area, move into soft skills, which is more about flexibility. And of course, don't forget to keep practicing and correcting your mistakes. So as you go along, as you practice, you'll realize that there are some things that you're not doing well. Keep correcting those mistakes so they don't get ingrained. And don't forget to ask for feedback from people who are really good at this area already. I hope that helps. Don't forget to build skills. This brings us to our second principle for today. So I'm just preparing my sheet for you. Here we go. The second thing that I'd like to share with you today is to, here we go, work hard. Don't forget to work hard. Again, a very, very important principle. Nowadays, in particular, we cannot be lax. We have to work hard. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about working hard. Nowadays, there's absolutely no room for complacency. That's a reality. Again, so many people need jobs, so many people are in need of succeeding. And again, just no room for being complacent in terms of your opportunities or whatever it is that you have already. And reality is times are tough. It's tough for a lot of people. It's tough for different businesses. And there will always be somebody out there who is smarter than you. But you cannot use that as an excuse. There may be a ton of people out there who are smarter, but never let them outwork you. So remember to work hard. Now, the other thing is, see, I've been in training for a while now, and I come across people from very different backgrounds. And one thing that I notice is sometimes when people work hard, they expect to be rewarded through payment. So they kind of treat payment or a paycheck as a reward for the hard work. And it's perfectly understandable because you worked hard for it. However, I would recommend that you start to, or that you explore a different way of seeing that. I mean, take it in terms of accept the payment, accept the paycheck that you get, but be more appreciative than entitled, because that's when a lot of things start to get tricky, when we work hard at something and then just expect to be rewarded. Payment. Okay, so here we go. So again, just a reminder, when you get paid for your hard work, whatever kind of service or product you may be providing, remember that it is something that was in exchange for your service, but do not look at it from an entitled perspective that you deserve it. Because when you become entitled, there is a chance that you could become lax in the future in terms of the work that you do. And that's something that I would love to talk about more. Actually, maybe I can talk more about that in my vlog. But for now, those are some reminders that I'd like to share with you. And whether you are employed or self-employed, treat your work as your own business. Work hard at it, make it grow. And as much as you can, try to plan for the next day the night before. So these are just really practical tips to help you get going. Because if you have a basic understanding of what the next day will look like, regardless of the many, many different things that could change on the road or when you are already in that day, that actual day, then at least you have a basic idea of the things that you still need to be able to accomplish for the day. And it helps you become even more productive, and it drives you to work even harder. So again, work hard, and don't forget to surround yourself with other people who also work hard. Okay, so let me just prepare my visual aids for the third tip that I'll be sharing with you. Here we go. I'm sure that you can hear my sheets because, again, I just prepared some things for you guys to be able to, well, remember the things that I'm sharing with you today. So here we go. Tip number 3 is, here we go, build your network. Build your network. Now, there is a saying that your network is equal to your net worth. And my thoughts on this is not necessarily, because there are other factors at stake as well. And like hard work, regardless of whom you know, if you're not really a hard work or you're not really a very strategic person, then your network will not necessarily be your net worth. So remember that, but it's still very important to build your network. And here's the other thing. One value of building your network is to create awareness around your services and around your products. And remember that if people do not know that you exist, if people do not know that you offer certain products or services, then how will you be able to create opportunities, or how will these people want to partner with you? So again, just a reminder that Your network may not necessarily be your net worth, but it is still very, very important to build your network. Because if people aren't aware that you exist, then how can you create opportunities to help you be able to progress in life and in your career? And how exactly do you build your network this quarantine? Because that's one question that I sometimes get when I deliver my workshops or other talks. Here are some very practical tips. So, one is you may want to join different groups in online meetings. And there really are a lot of different organizations that have shifted their meetings to online platforms. And you can explore them and find which ones you're most comfortable in, or which ones challenge you to be better, and also which ones help you be able to achieve your goals and objectives in life. Also, when you become involved in something, make sure that you add value to it, because that's how people are able to see your potential. So again, don't just join groups, but add value to the group. So sometimes that could also mean having lesser groups that you're part of, but adding more value to the few groups that you are part of. And you may also want to consider checking your personal brand online. Personal branding is another topic that I deliver talks and workshops on. And some of the things that I remind people to check in terms of their online profiles include their photos, what photos of you are circulating online, or what can people see. Also consider the content that you put out there. Is it aligned with your personal brand? Because that can really help you build or destroy the opportunities that you might have in terms of connecting with people in the future. And last but not least, as you build your network, also consider the skills that you already have. So we go back to building skills and just consider if your skill inventory, if what you offer right now is already what can best help connect with the type of network that you want to be connected with. Okay, so 2 last tips for today. And the fourth one is, okay, here we go. Mind your finances. My gosh, this is just so timely, isn't it? Especially during this pandemic, when so many people are having problems with managing their finances. Okay, so how exactly do you manage or mind your finances, particularly at this time? See, I think that the pandemic has surfaced a number of things for us. The pandemic may have changed what we deem to be essentials. A lot of people I speak with have realized that the things they thought were essential before were actually not really essential. And for others, on the other hand, essentials have changed. Like before, maybe having hand sanitizer or alcohol in your bag wasn't as important as people perceive it to be today. Or perhaps disinfecting, like doing a major session of disinfecting when you arrive home, wasn't as important as it was before. So in terms of essentials, well, it really has changed for us. Different seasons, different phases in our lives also define different things, including the essentials that, well, the things that we consider to be essential to us. And I think that here's the other thing that you may want to consider. I think that this pandemic has also showed us that there are a number of things that are very important for us to make sure that we have funds for. For example, one thing would be our contingency fund. If you are somebody who used to, for example, spend a lot before, then that may have been wasted money that you could have placed in a contingency fund instead, that could maybe help you get through the tough times like this pandemic, for example. And another thing that I noticed was people started to realize more and more how important it is to have a medical fund. Whatever kind of medical fund that may be, whether it's money that you set aside in case of emergencies or you're subscribed to some sort of medical insurance, I think that people this year really realized or appreciated the value of having a medical fund. And also, not just having savings, but also having some form of investments. Although there have been some investments that really, well, sadly, did not become very successful during this pandemic. But I think that one key message that I'd like to share with you here is to find somebody you trust who can really help provide some sound advice on how you can better manage your finances. Having said that, I have one more point for you. Here we go. Okay, so one last point for today is to take care of yourself. Again, a very, very important principle, especially at this time. Now, how exactly do you take care of yourself? And there are so many ways that you can do this. But I'd like to share something that I learned recently from a Mind Valley course that I've been taking. So it's Mind Valley is an online learning platform, and I've been enrolled in this, I think, a 4-month course. And it talks a lot about self-esteem. And I think that having a self-esteem is one of the best ways to really be able to take care of yourself. Now, how exactly do you help yourself have healthy self-esteem? Some key principles that I learned were that, well, there are different levels in terms of how you can boost your self-esteem. But in terms of the quickest fixes, these include making sure that you're well groomed, making sure that you exercise, eat the right food, and have clothes which fit you well and suit you well. Because again, these are some of they're just really practical, and you can immediately see what kind of effect they have on you, on your body, if you are able to do these things. And it really can help boost your self-esteem. So again, 5 key principles to help you through changes in life, changes in your career. They are from my book, #Adulting, 5 Secrets to Embracing Change in Life and Career, but adapted to the pandemic. And with that, thank you very much for listening. I hope you found value in my segment. Back to you, Dennis.
Thank you very much, Doreen. Of course, indeed, we found value in those 5 adulting principles that is based on your book, #Adulting. So again, Doreen Cooper, thank you very much for gracing the virtual stage today here on The Talk. And we'll talk more about what she explained to us later in the recap. But for now, friends, let's pause for a quick break. Please don't go anywhere.
Since I got my new place, I've enjoyed every single day here. Hotel-like amenities, attentive staff, resort-style living, all in a premium location. So life here is easy and convenient. That's why I invested in another unit. I can earn more, and they can enjoy the very same things I enjoy at home. What a life! So much more rewarding. So much more to life. SMDC.
We need beauty every day. We need power every day. But are you ready?
Ready? Ready.
Beauty is power.
Welcome back to the talk with me, Dennis Calamba. Of course, the talk is presented to you by the new channel and Wellife. Every home, every family, Wellife. Talksters, please hit me with a like or follow on Facebook at Dennis Calamba, the Mr. Delightful of Learning. And please do join our learning community at Learning Events and Resources PH so that we can continue to engage even after this episode has come and gone. But of course, aside from the talk, there are so many other shows that are under the TNC roster. So please, I invite you to watch these inspirational shows under the new channel. So you will be seeing the shows right there on your screen, and I will be giving you a rundown of these shows. Of course, first up, The Big Picture with Lloyd Luna shares inspiring stories of notable personalities. That show live streams Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. We also have HR Hotline with Jesse Rebustillo, and it introduces us to the wonderful world of human resources management. It live streams every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 1 p.m. We have iBusiness with Dr. Mike and Bert, and they talk about inspiring business insights and how you can own a business live streaming from Tennessee and Texas in the USA, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Wednesdays and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. Philippine Time. We also have The Fourth Project by Bob Kilapio, and the show is about life, business, and success stories live streaming from Dubai, UAE at 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Philippine time. Another show is U-Turn with Carmine Ortega. It is all about discovering your life purpose and learning from others' turnaround stories. The U-Turn streams Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. So that actually is the show before my show, The Talk. We also have The Home Buyer with Dante Salamat. The Home Buyer is where you hear remarkable stories about building and owning a property. The Home Buyer streams Mondays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. What else do we have? We have Laughing and Learning through the Puppet Stories with Juan Lu, streaming Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eto, mainit-init pa, magbenta, bumili at tumulong dahil bukas na ang TNC Marketplace kasama si Ms. Nez and Miss Ange. So push or mine na kayo because this is online. This is an online night bazaar that live streams every Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. We also have After Shift with Chino and Trisha, and it is a show about choices and life after the work shift. And it airs Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eto, Beauty Beauty, Usapang Beauty with Joe Bilinsangan Moreno. This is about beauty beyond what your eyes can see, and it streams every Thursdays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. TNC's newest show on the block, YOLO, it premiered last Monday, if I'm not mistaken, but it live streams every Monday and Thursdays onwards, 8:30 p.m. And YOLO is hosted by rockstar lawyer attorney Carlo Ibanez and attorney Sheila San Diego. Of course, my most favorite show. It features two speakers, 20 minutes, and thought-provoking messages. The show that I'm talking about is The Talk, sponsored by Wellife. It streams live every Monday at 12 noon. We also have TNC original shows such as One Day, a 30-minute show which profiles unique and inspiring stories of real people. It alternates with TNC Town Hall, which is, of course, co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd Luna and Apple Manansala. This platform is where we talk to you, our valued audience, on feedback about our shows on TNC. Other TNC shows occasionally stream, such as TNC PressCon, TNC Arena, and TN Cinema. For some upcoming shows include Win Within, Danny Art Show, The Family Business, Money and More, Rainbow Time, Learn Together, The Franchise, At Your Service, and The Frontliner. And there will be many, many more shows that will be produced by the new channel soon. So what do you need to do? What you need to do is to like and follow our page, the new channel, and we are using hashtags TNC Now at TNC now over Facebook and YouTube. Of course, this show also live streams at YouTube. So, ang daming shows. I do hope that you continue to support all of these shows. But of course, please do support this show, The Talk, sponsored by Wellife. Every home, every family, Wellife. And with that, I think it's about time to introduce our second speaker. Who she is? Here we go. She is a human resource and organizational development practitioner with over 30 years of diverse and extensive experience as HR director, executive, coach, and consultant for local and multinational companies in various industries. Industries such as mining, retail, banking, hospitality, construction, consulting, manufacturing, and the list just goes on and on. She obtained her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology degree from the University of the Philippines in Diliman and earned her double degrees of MA and PhD in Organization Development from the Southeast Asia Interdisciplinary Development Institute Graduate School of Organization Development, or SAIDI GSOD. She was a psychology lecturer at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She is likewise a certified life coach by the Certified Coaches Alliance, or CCA. She completed the Success Conversion Coaching Program at the Coach Training Academy, or TCTA, in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It was a life coach certification program accredited by both the Certified Coaches Alliance, CCA, and the International Coach Federation, or what is commonly known as the ICF. Today, our speaker will deliver a talk entitled Fear and Uncertainty in the Pandemic. So, Talksters, let us welcome Dr. Liza Rodriguez Gonzales.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk about fears and uncertainty in today's pandemic time. Actually, about 30 to 40% of people who came to me for help, either for coaching or counseling, share the same what's this goal of actually relieving or rather reducing their stress, their anxieties, their fears. To start, let me share with you, excuse me, a quote by Marie Curie, and she said, "Nothing in life is to be feared; it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less." I think this is very timely because it's exactly what we're going to do. We're trying to understand how we can possibly face fear and uncertainty in this pandemic time. Uncertainty actually happens when things go out of control, things happen or change so fast that we feel we could not cope with them. And I think the most scary part is when it makes it difficult for us to see or know what is going to happen next. Because that is understandable in the sense that as human beings, we crave security, we want to feel safe, and we want to have a sense of control over our life and our well being. Now, this COVID 19 actually heightened a lot of uncertainties over our economy, our work, our finances, our relationships, and more importantly, our health, both physical and mental. Now, the good news is, well, we have to find some good news somewhere. We are not alone. Okay, we are all in this together, and we are in the same boat at this point in time. Okay. Now, the point I'd like to raise in today's discussion is that no matter how helpless or hopeless you may feel, there are actually steps that you can undertake in order to reduce your fears and to face uncertainty with greater confidence. Okay. What I'm going to present to you today are actually a product of coaching conversations with clients, with friends. I tried to put them all together and try to come up with the most common ones. Okay, so let's start. Number one is face your fear and the uncertainty. They say that when the fears you don't face actually become your limits. And come to think of it, there are bits and pieces of uncertainties we experience in our day-to-day life, like when you go out to drive your car or cross the street, you can never be certain that you'll always be safe. When you eat in a restaurant, you can never be sure that the food you're eating is clean or fresh. Okay? So when you face your fear and your uncertainty, try asking the question, what will I do if, rather than what if? Okay, what's the difference? When you ask what if, and we're very, very good at this, you generate negative thoughts and all the worst case scenarios you could think of, and nothing else. You just pile them up in your mind, make you worry, make you cause you fear. Okay? But if you ask the question, what will I do if, while you anticipate something bad to happen, you are actually given the opportunity to know how you will react in case that something bad really happens. Now, knowing how you will react when that something bad really happens give you a sense of control and assurance that you would know what to do. So that actually lessens your worry. Okay, so try that next time you feel your fear. Try to ask, what will I do if, rather than what if. Okay, now number two is focus on what you can control. Focus on the controllables. Uh, Not knowing or not being in control actually can be very scary. That's why instead of focusing on things you cannot do anything about, try to take action on those which you can. Now, this is my tip number two. There are two things which cannot be taken away from you. In good times or in bad times, you will always have them as your controllables. And what it is? Your attitude and your emotional response. Okay? So what do they entail? Your positive and emotional response will determine what you will decide to tell yourself, what you will decide to do in the middle of the circumstances that you're in. And examples of this would be, you can always choose to tune into your positive mindset. You can always choose to seek help when you think you need help. Or you can switch off the news if you think that the news is not doing you any good, if it's making you feel anxious, switch off the news. Okay? So these are little things. Now, I think you would even feel better when instead of worrying or worrying about things you can't do anything about, you do something that would be useful or something good for another person. Like, I think you believe that when we do good, we feel good. Okay, just to share. In this pandemic time, I actually have a daughter who's a doctor. She's an emergency medicine doctor. She treats COVID patients. She intubates COVID patients. She gets exposed to the COVID virus. And as a mother, I think you'd understand that even if I try very hard not to worry, especially at night when I'm about to retire, negative thoughts would really run into my head. What is she doing today? What will be she doing tomorrow? How much exposure is she getting? What if she gets the virus? What if she gets hospitalized? Who's going to take care of her? So things like those. And worse, during the time that my worries are at its highest, there was this news of insufficient or shortage of PPEs, shortage of face masks, shortage of face shields. It was like, what? You're going to treat COVID patients without PPEs? And it really scared me. So I gathered my other three daughters together and told them, please find out how we can be of help in this situation. and make sure we do something, because at this point, all I do is just worry about your sister, and it's not helping me. So initially, we were able to solicit help from relatives and family. Okay, so and then eventually we were able to solicit help and donations from our individual friends. And what amazed me was there were a lot of people I hadn't met, I hadn't seen, I hadn't known, which contacted me online and were very willing to help. They made donations, and it was just amazing. Okay, so and then I had a group of friends. The girls took care of delivering PPEs and face masks to needy hospitals, and then I organized a group of friends. We assembled face masks. So we procured the acetates, the garters, and the what's this? The foam with double adhesive tapes. And then we assembled the face mask manually. And there was a contest among us. Whoever delivers the most gets a prize. And the condition was for every 100 face shields that you make, you have to get it delivered to a needy hospital. So it makes feel very, very good. I think in 2 months we were able to make about 3,000 or 4,000 face shields. So you see, instead of worrying over the safety of my daughter, which was beyond my control, we were able to do something for another group of people who would benefit to the donations that we make. Okay? So focus on your controllables. Number three, be safe. Okay, when you say safe, be smart, alert, focused, and educated. Okay, be on top of things that could possibly affect you, your family, your community, your business. Okay, be smart to find new ways to probably reinvent yourself, maybe to give you opportunities for new career and new opportunities to make money. Remember, I'm sure you noticed the baking, gardening, and online selling that happened during this pandemic time. Okay, so it did not only give them the opportunity to develop skills, it also give them the opportunity to generate income. Okay, but this is very important. Take care of yourself. Now, I have 5 types of self care to discuss with you: personal, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social. For personal, of course, make sure you get exercise, get physical, okay? Maybe you can run, bike, or walk. Just make sure you do that in a safe environment. And then you eat good and healthy food. You get plenty of sleep, okay? Now, for our social well-being, you can try. You talk to friends, talk to someone you trust, get a new perspective. Instead of wallowing in your sadness and your fears, try to get inspired by another person. Maybe you can organize a Zoom meeting with friends where you can just laugh together and celebrate and enjoy life. Okay? Or maybe you can do Viber call to Viber calls to relatives or people who do not live, or family members who do not live in your household. Like, for example, in my case, my daughter stays in an apartment near the hospital because she cannot risk bringing home the virus to us. So we do Viber call with her. In fact, she celebrated her birthday, 30th birthday last June. And the most that I could do was, send food to her, the same food we had at home. And then that night we had a Zoom call. We were eating the same food together, as if we're really together. And while we were talking, and it felt like we were together. And it was a virtual birthday celebration. And that's the most that we could do. Okay? So for our mental health, our mental well-being, do mental exercises, do puzzles, sudoku, maybe game boards like chess and games of the generals. You listen to soothing and relaxing music. You try to watch good movies in Netflix. Develop new skills. That's part of mental health care. Okay. For our spiritual, make time for relaxation, meditation. Maybe you can do yoga or you can do qigong. I particularly learned Tai Chi during this pandemic time, and I realized that when you do Tai Chi, it's actually good for your mental, your physical, and your spiritual well being. You know why? The very slow moves you do with Tai Chi, you have to do it synchrony, you have to synchronize it with your breathing in and breathing out. And of course, the movement is the physical side. And I noticed that when I was doing Tai Chi these past few months, I have a knee problem and it seems to be improving. So it seems like it's strengthening my muscles. In terms of the spiritual, well, you know that when you breathe in and breathe out, it's actually helping in your relaxation. And of course, when you do the synchrony of your movement and your breathing, it has to do with your mind. It's your mind that focuses on the breathing and the movement such that it's not busy with anything else. It's just focusing on what you need to do and that relaxes the mind. Okay, so you see, maybe you might want to try Tai Chi. There are a lot of YouTube tutorials for beginners. Okay, and then for our emotional, okay, the most that I can do, the most that I can say is that you have to actively deal with your emotions. Okay, you have to accept and recognize, acknowledge, okay, that this is how I feel, that's how I feel, and just let it be. Okay, because that would make you feel a lot better. That would do you more good. Because if you suppress and deny that this is how I feel, this is how I feel, that is going to be detrimental to you. Now, I remember the Dalai Lama saying, I'm not sure if I heard him being interviewed, I read that he was interviewed, and he said that negative thoughts and negative feelings are a part of us, and we should treat them like friends, like a friend. Now, you don't show it in meditation, just let it be and allow it to walk away slowly when it's time to walk away. Okay? So make your negative thoughts and your negative feelings your friend. Alright? Now, number 5 is manage your expectations. Okay. This has to do with your perception of reality and what you expect. Okay, so never compare how things actually are with how you think they should be. That's going to be very stressful for you. It's all right to have goals, but make them your aspirations, not your expectations. Okay, and then number 6. Okay, this is the very popular. I don't need to explain any further. Practice safety protocols. Okay, so because when you do all of this, you are actually showing consideration to your neighbors. So wear your masks, wear your face shields, and wash your hands, and practice physical distancing. Okay. Now the last tip that I'm going to share with you is a tip I normally share with my students, my clients, and my friends, and now to you. Okay. This tip is pray without ceasing. Okay. Pray, pray, pray. You know why? The more we pray, the more we acknowledge and believe that we have one supreme being, no matter how you conceive him to be. And that supreme being is the one you run to in prayers and is far greater than your worries and your fears. Okay? So pray, pray, pray. Now to summarize, we said earlier, no matter how hopeless or helpless you might be feeling now, there are actually steps. Okay? These are the steps you can undertake in order to reduce your worries and your fears and to face uncertainty with greater confidence, especially in this pandemic time. Now, I started the discussion with a quote. Let me end it with another quote. This is from Albus Dumbledore of the Harry Potter. He said, happiness can be found in even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Now, how significant is it in today's discussion? All our worries, all our fears started here. And I am certain that if only we could remember to turn on our positive mindsets, our positive thinking buttons, we can definitely find happiness even in darkest times. Thank you very much for having me and have a great day ahead.
Thank you very much, Doc Liza Gonzales. Of course, I do personally vouch for all the things that she has said, being a truly an effective executive coach, an effective life coach, and really just having that, motherly sentiment that it really allows her to put her heart out and really share all of these things for us to really manage all these fears and uncertainties that we have, especially at the time of this pandemic. So again, thank you very much, Doc Lisa. So, Talksters, please do hang in there. We will still be back after these reminders. And we are back. Dennis Calamba here, the Mr. Delightful of Learning, host of The Talk, of course, presented to you by the new channel and Wellife, every home, every family, Wellife. Talksters, I would like to invite you to the world premiere. Yes, we have a new show premiering on August 29. That will be this Saturday at 4 p.m. And the show that I am talking about is The Family Business, hosted by Nato Agbayani. So, friends, please do support and watch the world premiere of The Family Business by Nato Agbayani on August 29, Saturday at 4 p.m. So as you can see, really the TNC roster is increasing as the weeks go by. So I hope that you support all of our shows under the TNC roster. And of course, we would like to express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to all of our sponsors, to all of those, of course, you've seen our commercials. Thank you very much to all the sponsors of the new channel. Also, to everyone who is watching us live, especially for this show, The Talk. And if you are going to watch the replay, of course, thank you very much as well. So you might probably want to comment replay so that when I do my own rundown or watching the replay, I will also know if you have watched, and probably I'll give you a shout out in the next episodes of The Talk. So, of course, just a reminder again, please do hit me with a like or follow at Facebook, then Calamba, the Mr. Delightful of Learning. And please do join our learning community at Learning Events and Resources, PH. Now, Talksters, for the recap, my notebook is kind of full. Of course, we had two topics, adulting and facing our fear and uncertainties in the time of pandemic. Of course, just a quick run through of what we discussed with adulting, of course, with Doreen Cooper as speaker. I really like the 5 principles of adulting. Of course, these are build the skills, build more skills, work hard, of course, not to be too having that feeling of entitlement, but just be appreciative that even in the time of pandemic, you have work and you are being paid for the work that you're doing. So yeah, gratitude, and gratitude goes a long way. Of course, building your network, this is really a time for us to collaborate, especially to those people who might not be able to give all of the resources that you need, but just that support and the belief that you can thrive despite the pandemic is more than enough to really get those people as part of your network. Of course, your personal cheering section or cheering team goes a long way, especially at this point in time. Of course, finances, we've all been hit by finances. Of course, I'm not exempted by any means. I'm also, bearing the burden of overcoming this pandemic, especially in the area of finances. But again, this is probably a good time for us to look at different investments to really explore the things that we can continue to do. So I might be a public speaker, a trainer, a consultant, but I can also go and explore a field which, might probably be in the area of sales, because you know what? I used to sell a lot of items also back in the day. And you would be surprised the items I was selling. Probably it's more fitting for the marketplace, but there will be a different talk for that. But ultimately, as adults, we need to take care of ourselves because, we are living in the real world. We are really facing these challenges head on, and we just cannot revert back to the time where, oh, I hope mom and dad was here. Oh, I hope, other people can take care of my finances, or, give my resources that I need or that my family needs. This is the time for us to step up as adults living in the real world. This, ladies and gentlemen, this pandemic really is challenging us to be more of the adults that we need to be. Hopefully, we can all grow and mature coming out of this situation. So, thank you very much, Doreen Cooper, for your talk on adulting. Of course, Doc Lisa's talk about facing fear and uncertainties again, very wonderful talk. Of course, she shared with us 7 action steps. So these are really concrete steps that we can take. So just a quick rundown. Of course, first step is really to face it. There's no other way of getting around it except to face whatever it is that you are fearful or uncertain about. Uncertainties and fears are facts of life. Even in Tony Robbins' book, Awaken the Giant Within, he is talking about our needs as individuals. We need that feeling of certainty, but at the same time, have we also need to have that dose of uncertainty because it keeps us on our toes. It keeps us, having that vision, having the goals that we can create to live an awesome life, to live an extraordinary life. But the first step is really to face these fears and uncertainties because they exist. But it doesn't mean that they can beat us, okay, and they can beat us down. or beat us down in the life that we are having right now. Focus on what you can control. Of course, this might seem to be, yeah, of course, obviously, but really, this is a challenge for most of us, focusing on the things we can control, because sometimes the wave of the things that we cannot control affect us more than the things that we can control. So it's a good reminder by Doc Lisa to let us just focus on the actions that we can do so that we can control whatever it is that we're feeling at this situation or during the pandemic. Of course, again, common sense would dictate be safe, stay safe, take care of yourself, because that's also the fourth action step. But sometimes the most obvious things are the things we forget. So please make it always a daily reminder to follow all of these things that we need to do so that we can continue to stay safe and we can continue to take care of ourselves even after this pandemic has long taken its course. Of course, aside from that, I also put it on the chat box. Of course, manage your expectations. Of course, at the last one, I really specifically like pray without ceasing. There's an acronym called PUSH. So pray until something happens. You might not see it now. The challenge might be overwhelming as of this moment, but definitely as long as you maintain your connection with the source, your connection with God, definitely something good will happen to you. And all of these blessings and favors that you have been praying for yourself, for your family, for your community, for the country, and for the world, they will unfold. But we need to train our minds and we need to feel that emotion, because our thoughts and emotions, when combined, can really propel us into action. As adults, we need to have that exciting blend of, the right thoughts, right emotions, so that we can create impact not only in our lives, but also in the lives of those who are near and dear to us. So, Talksters, again, let's give a virtual or real round of applause for our speakers today, Doreen Cooper and Liza Gonzales. Doc Liza and Doreen, give it up, give it up. Yes, give it up. Clap, 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 or comment the clapping emoji, okay, on the comments portion of our live stream. So they have been truly wonderful for today's episode of The Talk. So we do hope that you are able to get valuable insights from their Power Pack presentations. So as I land the plane for today's episode, I would like to thank you all so much for joining us on this episode of The Talk here on the new channel sponsored by Wellife, Every Home, Every Family, Wellife. This has been your host, Dennis Calamba, the Mr. Delightful of Learning, leaving you with an encouragement to please keep on learning and keep on growing. See you again next Monday. That's going to be the end of the month. We have something very exciting in store for all of you next Monday, because we will open the virtual stage yet again with two speakers, 20 minutes, thought-provoking messages. This is The Talk. May the good Lord bless you and keep you. Goodbye, everyone.